How to turn your marketing into money. Hey, welcome back to the Marketing for Business podcast. Hey, look, I've got a great episode for you today. This is part of my book, Flip the Marketing Switch, or the Digital Marketing Switch. Actually, how to turn your marketing into money. Before we get into today's episode, I want to do a couple of shout outs. Caitlin, I just wanted to say it was great chatting to you last week. Caitlin has started a new business. She's been listening to the podcast on Spotify. She booked a 15-minute call with me, and we had a great chat about marketing. And I could really tell that she's going to be successful. Even though she's starting out, she's starting to do the right things. She's educating herself and taking action. So great work there. Also, Wade, another great listener. He booked a 15-minute session with me last week. We had a great session, and now he's moving into a strategy session where we can deep dive into his customers, deep dive into his company's marketing, and actually, really lift it to another level. And also, Melissa doing the same. Really looking forward to brainstorming with you and your team on how to grow your business. So let's get into today's episode. As I said, it's part of the book. And this part of the book, I guess the reason I wanted to create how to turn your marketing into money, there's two reasons. Obviously, it's the main theme of the book. But also over the last 2 weeks, I've been starting to write down the conversations that I'm having with customers and business owners, mainly the new people that I'm meeting. And because I'm always interested in language and the language that people are using. So I've started having some interesting conversations, to say the least. And here's some things I'm finding. Business owners are lost. A lot of them are confused. A lot of them are frustrated. Some are winning, which is really, really cool to hear. But most are overwhelmed by the current state of marketing. And then the question is, hey, Scott, how do we make money from our marketing? So the good news, over the last probably, 2 years, I've been really working on this concept, refining it, working with some people to actually help me get this message down, and actually how to turn your marketing into money. And the good news is, at my agency, we actually do that for a lot of our clients. So here's the thing. I like to keep things simple, and I like to keep things simple for business owners just like me to understand, right? So when I've been distilling and looking at the things of what turns marketing into money, there's three things that really come up with that you must have to turn your marketing into money. And number one is you must map your marketing. Number two is you must make your marketing. And number three is you must monetize your marketing. So I'm going to talk about that in this podcast. And I'm going to give you part of those conversations that I've been having with business owners. Number one, map it. If you've been to one of my seminars, you've heard me say on this podcast, you must design your marketing strategy to pick the tactics to produce the results you want. I'm going to say that again because you need to get this clear before you start doing any marketing. You must design your marketing strategy to pick the tactics to produce the results you want. Too many people just go to the tactics. And this is the common theme I've been having when I'm talking to business owners. They are running tactics. And here's one of the things you really need to do when you map your marketing. You must define your goals. You must get clear on what you want to achieve with your marketing, whether it's brand awareness, lead generation, sales. And I really work on this. A great way to define your goals is to have A and B goals. An A goal, where you are. Get real clear on where you are right now with your marketing and your business. And B, where you want to go. And your B must be very, very clear. Look, last week, as I said, I was talking to a gentleman. He owns a hotel and a restaurant, and it's not going as well as he had expected it to. The fact is, he did a Google search for digital marketing companies and marketing companies in Christchurch. We appeared in the top 3. I think we were number 1 for most of them. He read our reviews and he wanted to meet, so I went and had a meeting with him. Went to visit his hotel, and to be fair, it's a very, very nice hotel. You can tell they've spent a lot of money on the hotel. But sadly, I think they've spent all their money on the product and not on the marketing of the product, which is very, very common. So we started having a conversation, and I started asking him about their goals. What are they trying to achieve with their marketing? What is it they're wanting to do with their advertising? And they didn't really have any. There's something I hear all the time, and that was, I just want to get our name out there. And I do hear that a lot. Scott, we just want to get the name out there. But really, they had no clear B goal. Where where they wanted to go. And I started to think about that as I left. Okay, what would be a B goal if you owned that hotel? Because I always look at the businesses and go, if I owned that, what would I do differently? So for me, I'd have a really clear B goal that I want 90% occupancy in the next 6 months. Sadly, they've got nowhere near that right now. I want to have a return booking rate of 60%. So I know where I'm going. I want to get to 90. I want to get people rebooking up, because that's where I can, people have already stayed with me. Why wouldn't they stay again? I want to get 55% of my restaurant bookings from in-house guests and 45% from external marketing. Okay. Can you already feel, from them saying, I just want to get my name out there, to me really defining my B goals. You can feel how clear they are and how defined they are. And it's a lot clearer than just wanting to get my name out there. Here's the thing though. Once you've defined your B goal, you can actually start brainstorming some strategies to help you achieve those goals, right? Because let's just look at the 55% booking rate, bookings from in-house guests for your restaurant, right? All of a sudden, if that was your goal, okay, you've got people coming in the door, they're spending money to stay in your hotel, and you need to get them into your restaurant. You could incentivize your team to talk about the restaurant. You could run a guest-only happy hour. You could run a guest-only special. You could give them a voucher to each guest. You could advertise testimonials in the lift, etc., and in the rooms, etc., about your restaurant. Have photos of food in the guest compendiums. Create a cocktail that you become in-house famous for. I would seriously do this one if I was a signature dish. You've got to go try this, or you've got to have our cocktail. People staying in hotels, I've stayed in heaps of hotels. No one's ever said to me, hey, have you tried our in-house cocktail or our in-house signature dish? Create something that you and your team can become famous for, and you'll have more people turning up in your restaurant, okay? So you've got to define the strategy. You've got to define your B goals, because here's the thing. This business owner, the hotel owner, hadn't defined this strategy. They were using poorly thought out marketing tactics, a one-off newspaper ad. And I was like, how much business did that get? Hardly any. If I know from experience, probably none. They were using First Table, not a bad option, but not the target market he wants to attract. He was using poorly targeted social media posts, etc. So look, the lesson here is define your goals. A goal, current state. B goal, future state, and really go after it. Look, another one is, when you're mapping out your marketing, you want to identify and research who is your target audience. Who are your ideal customers? What are their needs? What are their wants? What are their preferences? What are their behaviours, etc. I go into the book into a lot more detail about ideating your target audience, but I thought I'd share another conversation from last week. I was speaking to a lady who deals with horses, and she helps them recover, etc. Quite a specialised kind of niche product, but she's tried marketing. But once again, she wasn't happy with where it was going. So I suggested, hey, look, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and I want you to write down the answers to this question that come up for you. And the question is, who has your ideal customer before you and after you? This is a great question to ask because, and what I mean by that, because he was a little bit confused by the question, meaning who deals with your potential customer, who already has that relationship with them and has that relationship with you, but before you and after you, that you could do a joint venture with to create a win-win solution. So in 30 seconds of talking to this lady, because my brain is always fires this way, she could do a joint venture with saddleries, horse float manufacturers, farriers who fix the shoes of horses, horse trainers, feed suppliers, stable builders, gates and fence builders on farms, etc. The list goes on and on and on and on. They have relationships with her ideal clients before her and after her. And maybe that's a question that you need to ask your business, and write a list of everything that you could come up with. Who has your ideal clients before you and after you? Give it a go. And here's the thing, send me a screenshot, 021 891 934, 021 891 934. Send me a screenshot of what you've created and we can brainstorm together. Right. Number two is, you have to make it. So many businesses, they're not making any marketing, so they wonder why they never get seen or heard. To do this, you want to create a content strategy. You want to plan your content. Plan it. Create some blog. Create some videos. Create some or podcasts, etc. Actually, plan it out. Plan these episodes out. Once again, last week I had a meeting with a prospect. He was referred by one of our clients, one of our partners. So before the meeting, I did a bit of research. And I could tell they were a good business, right? They've been around a while. And they've probably, I think, actually been in business over 20 years. However, I could see from my research online, they were starting to get what I would say beaten up and smoked by some of their competitors, especially in the last 8 to 12 months. You could really see that they were getting beaten up. So armed with this information, I went to the meeting. And look, sadly, I was right. Quick conversation with the business owner. They're losing market share, and really is because the competitor has come in and taken over the digital space. More and more people are on their phones. We know that. More and more people are transactioning there. So this competitor had really taken the market share in the content space digitally, but also in the Google space, and really was dominating. And sadly, the business owner I was talking to was really stuck in the way of running advertising. We'd already run it this way. Him and his business partner, they were used to running it this way. They were running radio, they were doing billboard, they were doing flyer drops. And here's the thing, they were running a billboard and they were running it for, I think, every 7 weeks for 2 weeks, or they'd run it 7 times a year or something like that. It was look, and they loved their billboard. It was a great shiny billboard. And they were, you could tell that they really loved it. But here's the thing. Just because you love it, it doesn't mean other people do, Other people, they don't actually care, they don't care until you show how much you care about them. And look, people are driving past, and if you're not there 24/7 when they're driving past, you're not creating any frequency in your marketing, especially if you're only doing it 7 times a year, for 2 weeks, etc. You're not going to get the cut through, especially in today's market. It's too noisy. So here's the good news. They recently updated their website, and that's why they wanted to come and talk to us. They've updated it, and we showed them straight away, look, here's some things that you can start measuring, and if you want to, here's what you should do to generate more business, and here's how long it would take, and look, if they do it, they've got a chance of recouping that market share. If they don't, the competitor will just completely take them out in the next 5 years when it comes to that online space. Look, when you're making your content too, you want to invest in quality production. Look, most things these days though, a really, really high-end cell phone can help. I'm recording this on a Sony, really nice camera, and I've got all the gear in here, but you don't need it. One of the things you do need though when you're making your marketing is to tell your brand story, crafting compelling narratives, narrative around that resonates with your audience, highlight into your brand's value, etc. One of the best books I've ever read on that is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. I was actually talking to one of my podcast guests the other day. She was an accountant, chartered accountant, Kim Marshall, and she was talking how she's been reading Story Brand and how it had opened her eyes up to another way of marketing and doing business. So really, if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. Look, you want to utilize your visuals when you're creating content as well. Eye-catching visuals. You can use AI for that now, and getting good photography, etc. We do. When we're doing our strategy calls, we talk a lot about that. I'll go and do some research before I have a call. I had a really good one with a restaurant the other day, and our marketing to money call. And look, I saw it straight away. The eyes buy, right? The eyes see things. And this person's on social media, and this company, they had an empty restaurant. All their photos were of an empty restaurant. Look, that may sound simple, but I can tell you what, I will go and see a lot of restaurants and their social media pages, and they'll be all doing that same thing. So I said, hey, look, one of the things that you've heard me say plenty of times, you got to get caught doing the things you want to do more of. You got to be seen doing the things you want to do more of. And here's the thing: the coolest part is they actually had photos of a busy restaurant, but they never thought of that. They never thought of, they thought they were showing a clean, clear space would show that that there's plenty of room for people to come in. But you've got to get caught. So if you want more people in your restaurant, Get caught with more people in your restaurant. And I know it sounds serious, but I think, you've got to seriously think about how you want to showcase your business to the world, right? How do you want your business to show up? And look, most people, if they see a busy restaurant, they'll want to go in because they'll think it's good, right? If they see an empty restaurant, they don't want to go in. Same on social media, so remember, get caught doing the things you want to do more of. And just remember, it's not business when it comes to marketing. It's actually show business. So you want to put your business on show. Another thing you want to do is leverage user-generated content, encourage your customers to create and share content about your business and brand, and this provides social proof, etc. So when you're making, your marketing, it gives it that authentic feel. I always say you got to get known by the success of your clients, happy customers, and social proof is powerful for this. So ask for it and use it. It's a really, really great way to grow your business and showcase what you're doing. All right, number 3 is monetize it. Look, you must monetize your marketing. You've heard me say this so many times on the podcast. If you've ever come to one of my events, etc., consistency, message plus frequency of reach to create relevancy. And here's the thing, to get that frequency of reach, you must advertise your business consistently. Today's marketplace, it's too crowded. I've learned this over the years. It's got more noisier and noisier as we've gone on, and small bursts of advertising don't cut it. And a good example of this, I was having a great conversation with one of my clients. He's been a client for 5 years. And I remember 5 years ago, we set a goal to dominate his marketplace. And 5 years later, he's dominating his marketplace. And it's a really, really competitive marketplace. But together, we work together as a partnership to grow his business and to really hone in on his target market, to create a great offer. And we were relentless in where we were marketing his business and how we were marketing his business. As competitors try to compete, you can see them, they come in for short bursts, but they're never consistent enough to really get any hold of that market. So he really owns that market share, and he owns the mind share and the relevancy of people in his market. And that's the thing. Because he set a goal, he clearly defined his B goal. We work together to really get the result. And it's so cool to meet and have, we obviously catch up a lot. But to come in last week and to see that he's done, he's probably done more business in the last 5 months than he's done that most will probably do in 2 or 3 years. It really is cool. So, when you're looking to monetize your marketing, there's some things you want to look at, especially around your lead generation tactics. Are you using gated content? Are you webinars, free trials, etc., to capture leads and move them into your business and nurture them along? Are you looking at your conversion rates and continuously testing and measuring, your marketing efforts to improve them, split testing things? Are you using retargeting ads to reach your customers who have shown some sort of interest but haven't converted? This is really good if you're a local service business. If you're a local service business and maybe even you're in that home improvement, people will look to make decisions over time, and you can show them what you're doing over time and actually educate them on how to use your product and how other people are using your product and testimonials, reviews, etc. Great way to do it is to use retargeting and obviously measuring your ROI, tracking the performance. If you're going to monetize your marketing, you want to track the performance, and you have to track it over a period of time too. You can't just go for a week, go for 2 weeks. Where's my money? You have to be in the game of really understanding and measuring your marketing over a period of time. I actually call that the 8th wonder of the world. It'll be in the book under 8th wonder of the world. It's the thing that turned my light on when I understood about the power of advertising, when you started to measure it. The other one really is you want to, if you're monetizing your marketing, this is a great one for now, is creating offers and promotions. Be really clear in creating special offers, and promotions for businesses and for people to come into your business. In another conversation I heard from a business owner the other day, they'd spent all their money on their product and very little on marketing. They hadn't really made a potential offer to their target market. They'd actually run one newspaper ad, which they proudly showed me. And I asked them how much business they'd received from it, and they didn't have any idea. And I know from experience, I would probably say they got nothing from it because it's very untargeted. Look, I really believe success leaves clues, but so does failure failure. And I look at businesses that have been around for a while, and I think this is something you could do as too. Look at businesses that have been around for a while. Most of them, right now are probably running promotions. I know in the GFC, there's a local bar that I used to see on the way to work, and it was always in the GFC. It was running a $10 steak offer. So one day I went for lunch because I wanted to see what and it was really, really busy. I talked to the business owner because I'm naturally curious, and he says, "Oh yeah, people always coming in for the sorry, not the $1, it was a $10 steak offer." And I was like, when you think about it, why? And it's because it was an irresistible offer. Just because the GFC had hit, it doesn't mean people are going to stop buying things. They're just going to buy them from other people who give them a better offer. And fast forward today, I drove past that same bar, and they're running a $20 steak offer with a drink. And I know he'll be successful. I know people will be going in there and buying. I'm probably going to go down there myself and have it just to see, because he's made them a good offer. It's created a win. And when he wins and then the customer wins, everyone wins. And that's the thing. You have to be proactive right now. You have to look at it and go, okay, what can I do to keep my business going, to keep the momentum happening? And because here's the thing, people are going to bring other people in for that steak offer. They're going to have, some people won't have a steak. They might have the fish, etc. It's a real win-win. Remember, look, you got to design the marketing strategy to pick the tactics to produce the results you want. And to do those three, to do it, you have to have those three things. You need to map it. Okay. You need to really get clear. You need to make it. And then you need to monetize it. In saying that, there's a hidden M. And I believe, and I know that hidden M is mindset. You've got to create and cultivate the right mindset for marketing success. And I go to some length in the book about this, but look, you've got to embrace a growth focused mindset. And that can be hard in tough times. But I just know from experience, I know from dealing with multi-millionaires that have grown their business through these tough times, through the GFC, through, earthquakes, etc., through COVID, that you have to have a growth focused mindset. The ability to believe in your ability, to learn and grow, to view challenges as opportunities, to improve your marketing and your skills comes from embracing a growth-focused mindset. Look, you've got to stay resilient too, and understand, look, not all marketing efforts are going to be successful immediately. You need to have persistence. You need to have that adaptability, and you need to overcome those setbacks when you have them, and then you need to focus on long-term success. Look, and I know that sounds, it might sound simple, but for a lot of people, it's not. They get nervous. They get afraid. They get worried. But here's the thing. You've got to stay resilient. You must be customer centric. Okay. You must be keeping your customers' needs and wants at the top of your mind, and at the forefront of your marketing efforts. Too many people are marketing for themselves. They're marketing for their own ego rather than marketing for the customer. You've got to commit to continuous learning. Probably the thing I really see, the ones that update themselves on the marketing trends, the tools, the techniques, invest in professional help. They get an agency like ours to run their marketing. They're committed into their learning and growing their business. And then, focusing on that value creation. Building trust and establishing your brand in the marketplace is a valuable resource that's going to pay you long term when it comes to your marketing. So here's the deal. What a podcast. I'm so excited to release this book. I can't wait. It's a wee bit left to go. I've got some more thoughts to distill. But here's the thing. I want you to help others today. And to help others, I want you to share this podcast. I want you to share the podcast and tag me in on social media. Tag someone who needs to make some money from their marketing, okay? I want to create a real movement with this. We've got some great things happening in the background to make it happen. But I want to help you turn your marketing into money. It starts today by you sharing this podcast. All right. Hey, thanks for your time. As always, have fun, take action, and today, celebrate your victories.